Hey, welcome to the No Culture for Old Men. This is episode 5.5. I think we
As
need to
usual with
report out
CJ.
again on the Aaron Donald situation. The new information has come out on this. I mean, I was thinking about Thanos hitting Tony Stark in the face, but it may not be the case. The lawyer came out for Aaron Donald today and said, we have video proof. Let's go to video that Mr. Donald is in the right here and that he actually helped save the young man who got beat up horribly.
Oh wait, you just froze up. Say that again, because
All
you
right.
just froze up like hell.
The lawyer said today for Aaron Donald that Mr. Donald actually helped save the young man who got beat up really badly. That he actually protected him. That he kept him from getting beat up worse.
Wow. I don't see how that's. Then how did he?
Apparently, there was a melee outdoors where there was more than a couple people beating this man up, and Mr. Donald was actually pulling people off of him.
Then Donald should be applauded
That's what I'm saying. We don't know
because
yet, but they say there's a video.
So he saved the life.
I'd have minded my business and be like, whatever.
Yeah, they're
See
saying
you
he
later.
kept him from getting injured even further. So apparently, this guy allegedly may have had beef with more than one person.
So he was getting jumped, and Aaron walked in and said, "Look, Captain America on you hoes," and saved him.
Pretty
So
much.
20, so
That's what
20
they're
people
trying to
beat this
say.
dude there.
Okay.
That's what they're
So
trying to
20
say.
people. That's whack.
So more to come on the Aaron Donald situation. As we know, Aaron Donald, man, defensive player of the year. He's a beast. I wouldn't fight him. So
Hey,
I hope
I,
it's
wa-
the case that he was trying to help this young man.
I wanted to ask you guys a question. I've been paying attention to ESPN and the Justin Fields. Is he dropping in the draft because he's a black quarterback?
You know what, man? This has been coming up for like 2 weeks now. I've been keeping a close eye on Justin Fields, and I think part of it's fit and part of it's that as well.
I mean, the guy was in the national championship, and they're acting like this guy might slip to almost 20.
Well,
I
he
mean,
he, he has a complicated story too, though.
what do you
What's the
mean?
story?
The story is this. You know, he started out at Georgia. Didn't quite work out there. He tried to be the starter at Georgia, didn't quite work out. He transferred to Ohio State. He was at one point he was fifth on the depth chart for quarterback. You know, people leave. He got better. Okay, he's now a starter. And then he did have struggles in the bigger games, and he definitely struggled in the national championship game. So I think people are, maybe questioning the ability. I don't know, but it's also fit because when I look at the draft board, I see him dropping down to New England.
But I'm like, who does Zach Wilson play to pick Zach Wilson over Justin Fields? He went to BYU. They don't play anybody.
Who you
Um,
talking about?
Zach Wilson, he's going to be the number 2 overall pick.
The
He's
Jets
going to be
like him.
over. Yeah, but why? He hasn't played anybody in college. Mac
Agree.
Jones for Alabama. Dude, you played for Alabama. You should be good. I mean, you were throwing to All-American players. You should be good.
I agree. I agree.
Justin Fields, to me, is the second best quarterback in this draft, and they're talking about him like he's, I don't know, just a bum.
What you
Yeah,
talking about?
they
Didn't
they
you
they
just
trying. Yeah,
didn't you
they
just say
treat
you
him like
want
garbage.
Philly to pick?
I don't want. I don't like mobile quarterbacks. I don't want that bum.
So
I don't
you
want him
don't
on
want
my
him either.
team.
So you don't want?
I don't want him on my team.
You
No,
There
already
you
got a
go.
quarterback.
So there you go.
no, I don't want him either. I don't
Yeah, I
like
know.
mobile quarterbacks. You know how I feel about Lamar Jackson and the rest of these guys that run first. I don't want them. They don't win. I don't want nothing to do with them. But he can play. He's better than Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson's not that good, dude.
Yeah, I don't see the Zach Wilson thing either. I think to me he's Johnny Manziel, Baker Mayfieldish. To me, I don't really see it. You know, they're going to get all hyped for this guy, and he's probably going to be a disappointment. And this is the thing: you're going to a team for him. He's going to a team that has no weapons, no line, no receivers. even if he is good, he's not going to get to show it. That's why Sam Darnold's in Charlotte now. But there is something to it. There was a question last week about, does he have the work ethic? And we all know when work ethic comes up, that usually relates to an African American quarterback. I was hoping we were kind of over this by now.
What? Well, maybe he is lazy.
We don't know that. How do people know that?
I'm about to say, how do we know that? Is his coaches putting that out there?
Yeah, who's
We don't know that.
giving this impression of this guy? Who is saying this?
I don't know. Can't you tell by the preparation he puts in, by his process as far as the work through the week? I mean, somebody's got to be leaking the information. I mean, there's an assistant coach, somebody behind him, somebody that's giving this information. I mean, I know it's a dog whistle anytime you call a black person lazy, but sometimes Bama's just lazy.
Yeah,
but even they even put out a report saying he doesn't get past his first read. First of all, how you know what his first read is? You didn't call the play. You didn't
watch the tape and tell that.
You can watch the tape and tell if he got past the first read or not.
You can tell first, second level, third level read. I mean, you can watch tape.
I mean,
but this
they
ain't. Are they saying that about anybody else?
No, they're not.
Yeah, so I mean, I take your point because I'm not hearing that about anybody else.
Mac Jones never got past his first read.
He didn't need to.
But is that so? So what if Justin Fields didn't need to?
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. I mean, in Alabama, you had the two best receivers in the country. You didn't need to get back.
Yeah, people should be open.
I mean, the guy they have a Heisman-winning wide receiver. He was pretty much open on the first move.
I mean, you can tell if those guys are on the same side of the field. I mean, if he's looking first level down the field,
yeah.
If you can tell watching tape, if he doesn't move his head to the other side before he takes off and run or throws the ball out of bounds, what is he doing?
Like I said, I don't want him on my team, but he should be a top 5 pick.
See, that's all. But see, that's all it has to say right there. You don't want him on your team.
He should definitely be top 7, and I hope he's top 7. I wish him well. I hope he has a long career. And the only good thing about sliding, if he does slide some, hopefully he'll end up on a better overall team and can have a better career. So it actually can work out for you. I mean, look at Aaron Rodgers.
Your Washington football team might move up and get him.
Hey, so be it. We need a quarterback, man. They need one bad. Well, I'm wearing a Philly hat. So, yeah, they need a quarterback, bro.
This is not a Philly podcast.
Hey, I need a Baltimore hat because I am a Lamar fan, unlike you, bro. So
he can't throw.
He can throw just fine. I think Lamar's going to take a step up this year. Baltimore is going to be back in contention again.
2 receivers this offseason took less money not to play with Lamar Jackson.
Because they have a heavy running game. I get it.
No, it's because he can't throw.
No, they have a heavy run offense, man. If I'm a top line receiver, I don't want to be blocking all game.
Yeah, you play for Baltimore, you got to block.
You got to block.
Wonder why you got to block? Because you can't throw.
Run the ball.
They didn't run the ball like that with Flacco. They let Flacco air it out.
Man, it took him a long time to let Flacco air that out.
He aired it out.
A long time.
They had to get a lot of trust in him for him to air that ball out like that. It is what.
And that wasn't even was that the Super Bowl year?
That was the Super Bowl year, in his best year, and he was downhill after that.
Yeah.
All I know is every time your boy is down more than 10 points and he has to throw the ball to come back, they lose. Just saying.
Yeah, I know. Numbers don't lie. Hey, speaking of prospects, and last night was the WNBA draft, man, and 6'5" Charlie from Texas went number 1 overall. Does Dallas have a new team? The Dallas Wings? Is that a new team? I've never heard of it.
They have to be an expansion team. I think it's.
Well, I want to know who Charlie Collier's representative is going to be. Agent is going to be, because if that young lady can't get in the commercial for anything,
makeup line or something.
She did it last night. I mean, she did it last night, definitely.
Yeah, that outfit she showed up at. Yeah, and even the interview, like the story about her father and how how he had just sort of laid out this plan for her and how she was going to be number one. The encouragement she got from him.
Hmm.
I think that was amazing. But I mean, that's I don't know. Somebody in the WNBA, if you're going to make somebody the face of your
Make
team,
marketing, yeah,
face of your
yeah. She looks like she could be
your
it, and she can
league,
play.
yeah, and she could play. Yeah,
She can ball. I mean, she has a nice 3-point shot. She's 6'5", so I'm pretty sure she can score in the post. But she actually has a very nice jump shot as well. And going to Dallas, she played college ball in Texas, and she's going to be pretty much playing in now her hometown of Dallas. So I mean,
the
hopefully
fan
they can
base,
make a star out of her, man.
yeah, the fan base will follow her. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, hopefully they can make a star out of her. I don't see why not if you're going to choose anybody.
good luck.
Yeah, so so a good night for the draft. I say one important thing from the draft last night. The families really showed out for everyone. The family interaction, the family participation in the draft was really cool because, of course, it's COVID times. Everyone's doing this from their homes or from
Oh yeah,
restaurants or whatever, and so all they had, of course, was their family with them. So they really showed out and supported everyone who got drafted last night. So I thought that was a good look for the WNBA. They did a good job last night.
yeah.
But the end of the long week, we're back in a familiar situation. Mass shootings, police shootings. We had two at the end of this week. We had a mass shooting in Indianapolis, 8 killed, 3 injured. The suspected shooter killed himself by gunshot wound. Tyrone, what's your take on this latest mass shooting in America?
Uh, Mass shooting. It flashed across my phone late last night. It woke me up, and I was like, "What's another one?" That's the first thought I had.
Hmm.
Um, I I'm not sure what people are going to be able to do about these mass shootings, about people just walking in a place and just blasting people. Something needs to be done. I just don't know what. Um, I think I talked to you earlier, and you were saying that somebody did have a gun, and I think they ended up getting killed also.
Yeah, this is the background from what we've known so far. Basically, the suspect, his name has finally been released. 20-year-old ex-employee of FedEx. Probably, I think he hasn't been employed there in a year. Drove through the gates this morning. As soon as he stepped out the vehicle, attacked or shot his first victim, a Good Samaritan who happened to have a gun, attempted to stop him on the outside and was unfortunately killed. And then he proceeded to kill a total of 8 people and injuring 3 others. So the question here is one, motives. Police, FBI, I'm sure they're going to comb this guy's social media and any background on him to find out what his motives were in this. Uh, but then when it comes all down to it, you know, he did now also, just so you know, context, this happened in the course of 2 minutes. It took 2 minutes to kill 8 people.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow.
So that has to, I'm assuming, guessing, it has to be some kind of high capacity weapon involved, an automatic weapon involved of some sort. Um, so, what is Congress going to do about this? What is America going to do about this gun surge? CNN put out a great number today. As of the Atlanta spa shootings, there have been, as defined by them, and they define it as 4 or more killed. There's been 45 mass shootings in America in the last 30 days.
Wow.
I wonder how many. I mean, I don't know if this matters. I wonder how many of those guns that were used were purchased legally or illegally.
Good question. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder that.
Well, I wonder how many of those were purchased literally the day before or the week before these shootings actually happened. I get what you're saying. Me and,
But
me and
I
Tyrone
want.
talked about this earlier, and my conclusion is for a lot of people, well, we're talking about two different things. If we're talking about mass shootings, that's one thing. We're talking about police shooting unarmed individuals. When it comes to the police portion, I think I made the comment to Tyrone is, are you made for it? Are you made for this
Right.
job?
Right.
Can you do the job? Some people aren't built for it.
Yeah.
Are you built for it? And should you be in this
And
position of power?
And I go a step further. I'm like, I don't think a person that grew up in Fairfax County, I'm just using this as an example, Fairfax County should be able to police people in Southeast DC. That should never happen. You don't know anything about their culture. You don't know anything about the neighborhood. Where, your background matters. I think that should matter. And my second question is, who's policing the police? Because oftentimes you see these police, they're killing people, but the district attorneys and the lawyers, they don't even want the case. They
Yeah.
don't want to press charges. So who's policing these people?
Yeah.
That's my biggest thing. Because
we-
I don't think you can ever stop hate, and you can never stop people from killing other people. It's
Yeah.
just it's the place we live. It is what it is. But you not wanting to press charges and you not wanting to go forward with the case is the biggest problem to me.
So we talked about the me and Todd, we've talked about the internal investigations. You know how that seems to go nowhere whenever a police officer is investigated for something internally. Even the lieutenant thing that happened with Lieutenant Nazario that happened in December, there was an internal investigation done right after it happened, but that guy didn't get fired until the video popped out. Right?
Yeah, it was untenable after that.
Yeah. So suddenly it was a problem once the video got popped out.
Hmm.
But when you do those internal audits, and we were saying that's why it would have to be something on the federal level for federal officers to do those investigations, maybe just from the Justice Department, but it can't be local police or even state police doing those investigations because they have to work with these people. They have to work with these cops. They're not going to try to put them in jail. That's not going to be sustainable.
Right.
Yeah, state attorneys, DAs, they have to work with the police, of course, in order to get their cases worked and to go through. Now, one of the issues, of course, and this is something I think Congress should do on the federal level. The state of Maryland just did this. And, I want people to be clear. I support the police. I support our men and women who go out there and protect this country day to day. But there's certain things that they can do that we as normal citizens cannot. So the state of Maryland just decided to get rid of an old law that was on the books. It was basically the Maryland Police Bill of Rights, which is a big deal. It's been on the books for over at least 80, 100 years. It's been on there a long time. And one of the things I picked out of that law, there's a lot of different things in there, but I found this one interesting. If you're involved in a police shooting on the job, you didn't have to give a statement immediately. You had 5 days to give a statement on a police-involved shooting. That's something that will go away. You know what you can do in 5 days?
You can fabricate all types of stories in 5 days.
That's
Your supervisor can come to you and say, "This is what you're going to say,
Yeah,
and this is what you're going to write,
Yeah.
and we're going to get out of this."
yeah. You can lawyer up.
Yeah, because that's plenty of time to review all of the evidence.
The tape,
look at all the
the
tape.
body cam.
Yeah.
And, and concoct your story the best way possible to get out of something. Another thing, and this doesn't have to do with Maryland, but in the particular, I believe you said Lieutenant Lazario down in Virginia got pulled over.
Yeah, in Chesapeake. Yeah.
The gentleman who wrote the police report, one of the cops involved, he literally lied on the police report, and that's not a fireable offense.
Same thing with Breonna Taylor.
Yeah, but why isn't that though?
People do it all the time.
That's
what I'm
yes.
saying.
That's a legal document.
Exactly.
You should go to jail. If I perjure myself on a trial, to me that should be the same thing.
Yeah, it's
And
about
it's not.
police reform.
Is it about police reform though? Is it?
Well, when we're talking about the subject of police shooting unarmed people,
yeah, it's about police reform,
it's just one
and it's
part
about
of it. It's not
and
the
it's
whole
about
thing. But
it's about who you hire.
See, that's the thing. I don't think police reform stops police from shooting unarmed people.
Oh, I'm not saying it is.
No, I think we have two different. My issue is not. No, I have an issue with them shooting unarmed people, but I don't think you can fix that. You can't fix people from being scared or hating. I don't think there's nothing you can do about that. But when you do it, when these people make these mistakes, when they kill these unarmed people, they need to be charged. They need to go to jail. They committed a crime. They need to go to jail, and that's not happening. That's my issue.
Is that enough? Do you think if during police academy training or whatever training they go through, do you think if it's impressed upon them during that time, hey, look, you're out in the street, you make a bad call, you kill someone, and it's found that you were negligent or you weren't following procedure or you had lost your temper or anything like that. If you're found in the wrong, we're not going to have your back, and the union, they're not going to be able to save you. You think that's enough of a deterrent?
No. Hate is hate. I always say I hate who hate me. And if you hate somebody, if you hate colors, if you hate a black man, and you're scared of him, you're gonna do what you feel. Period. You're gonna do what you feel.
Yeah.
And just like Jim said, he supports police. I support the good cops. The cops that get up every day to protect and serve and do their job correctly, I support them and I thank them. But them other ones, they can go. And they need to be prosecuted and dealt with, in my eyes. That's that's just crazy. They don't care. They don't care. And they just popping off. And they can pop off because nothing gets done to them. We got to burn up our whole community for somebody to press charges.
Yeah,
that's my take.
I wish people would stop. I know it's important. To me, I'm almost on your side of this now because I used to be like, yeah, go out and protest. But now I'm almost like, what's it going to do? You know what I'm saying? If nobody's willing to change anything structurally, I don't know what these protests are going to do. There's got to be a different way to get the point across. There's got to be a better way to. I don't know. Everybody says you can't defund the police, but there's got to be a better way to get their attention. Maybe it's through their money. I don't know. But
I think the word
aggression with aggression.
Well, two points from both of y'all. One, Ben, you talked about protesting. I think also, I don't know if you're referring to it as well. When I look at it, there's protesting, and then there's looting and robbing and stealing after an event happens. Number one, I'm cool with the protesting as long as it's legitimate and it's peaceful and you're out there getting your point across. I'm not down with the looting. I think that needs to stop. It doesn't serve anybody any good. And the only thing you're doing is tearing up the own neighborhood that you work in. Right. And generally what seems to be happening during the looting periods is there's outside forces who come in and help start the looting off. And then, of course, people jump in.
Right.
All right. And that's not cool because, okay, I'm at the protest. Next day, a window gets busted. It's opportunity. People are going to start jumping through that window and stealing stuff. Yeah. The looting, I'm not cool with. Second point was related to not defunding the police. And I don't think they should use that term. I think it should be more of a reorganization of funds because it's been shown through studies that you need to move the money around to other areas to help support the community. And I'm big on community police and things of that matter. So, for example, police should not be going to do a welfare mental check on people. That should be a trained social worker going to do that.
Yeah.
So whatever money you paid to buy your local police a tank, how about we take that money and fund social services so they can send a social worker out?
So what do you think about a double down though? Because I think one, you got to hire better people, and to hire better people, you need to pay them more money.
Yeah.
Right. And you need to have better standards. I don't think there's anything wrong with requiring a police officer to have a college degree.
You can't do that.
Why not?
Nah, you can't do it.
You're taking away city jobs. That's what you're doing. You're taking away city jobs. You can't do that.
Yeah, these are city entry-level jobs.
Well, then they need more than 6 weeks of training.
Oh, I agree with that.
I went through 6 months of basic. before anybody let me do anything
Exactly.
in the military.
You probably had 6 months before you could pick a gun up.
Yeah, I was yeah.
How soon did they let you pick a gun up in the military?
We were in basic training for probably 2 months before we touched the gun.
2 months.
Yeah.
And normal police training 6 weeks, right?
Yeah.
And
Now-
then they put you in some neighborhood that you've never been to, don't have any connection to.
Yeah. Well, Tyrone, that to me is part of community policing.
No.
You police the neighborhood you know.
Community policing, you don't want that, and then you don't want that. Trust me.
What
You
do
want to know what
you don't
know
want
what
the cop who
you
knows
know
you?
what you know what community policing is?
It's probably
Somebody
different for
got
other people.
somebody got murdered in around the corner. We can't figure it out who it is. So everybody from the age of 16 to 19 get in the paddy wagon and go downtown. That's
That's
their
not community policing.
That's not
not
community
what I'm talking
policing.
about.
but that's what they do.
That's
That's
what
not
I'm
it,
talking
That's
bro.
about.
that's what they do.
No.
That's
No,
called
see when you
profiling.
see this is the part of cops. When they say community policing, they have their definition, and then there's really what happens.
All right. I'm going off the definition of what
No,
it should be, and
you
that
can't do that.
is police who police the neighborhoods they know and like. That's what I'm saying.
And live in, right.
And live in. That you live in your community and you police your community. That's what I'm talking about. I mean, you're talking about profiling and using a blunt object to solve a small problem. I get it.
Right.
But
That's what
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but
Hey,
I think
let's change gears a little bit though. The shooting in Chicago of the 13-year-old boy, not a man, as I've heard some people on TV try to slip in and call him a man.
man,
He was a boy.
little boy. What do you weigh? 110, maybe 80 pounds.
Yeah, young man lost his life. You know, in Chicago they have the system that when shots are fired, there's like an alarm. It's like a hurricane alarm.
Oh, okay.
So if shots go off in certain neighborhoods, this alarm goes off. So of course the police responded to this call. There's approximately 8 shots that went off. Upon their arrival, of course, this led into a foot chase of a 13-year-old. One police officer following him through an alley with some light. It was dark. It was light. Apparently, there was a gun involved. The officer repeatedly asked the 13-year-old to turn around and show your hands. And when the 13-year-old spun around, he took one to the chest and lost his life, unfortunately. And we want to send our prayers and our best wishes out to the family of that young man. What do you guys think on this case so far?
For once, okay, let me say this. That kid should not have lost his life. I feel bad for his family. But for once, I can understand the cop. I get it.
In this situation, you get it.
I get it. Because I'm thinking, if I'm a guy running through a dark... Now, this is Chicago. Chicago has 200 plus murders a year, right?
Right.
Let's keep that in mind.
Heavy gun, bro.
Right. So I'm running through an alley, chasing somebody that had a gun at one point, and you're allegedly, and your energy's going, and you're chased, and you don't know if he threw the gun away or not, and he turned, I might have popped him too.
I'm not saying this correct. Say that. I've heard that.
And I'm not
on TV.
And I'm not saying it's correct. I never want anybody to lose their life. But in that situation, do you just give him the opportunity to turn and shoot you?
No.
My thing is if you're pursuing someone like this and they're running and your first goal is just to get them to stop and not do anything, right? And I know the kid was probably nervous. He probably said, "I'm just going to turn around and throw my hands up and I might make it out of here." I can see how the policeman reacted badly. But if you're saying, "Hey, turn around and put your hands up,"
Show me your hands.
and he shows you his hands, I mean, what? It's it's just all the approach. You know what I'm saying? I just don't I just don't think that's the way to do it. I mean, you've
Well,
seen cops like even when we were talking about the Dante thing
it goes back to that.
when they were trying to put his handcuffs on him. I've never seen anybody handcuff somebody inside of their door like that. You
Yeah,
move the person to the back of the car.
it's the approach.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't think. I just,
Like I
It,
said, I don't agree, but I get it.
I mean, I
I get
understand
it.
in that
yeah,
situation, but I
yeah.
just
We
I
don't
mean,
think
understand.
the
That was a
I've
split
I've
second
been
decision.
I've been outside of my car and somebody walk up on me and you might be gone. I mean, it's dark. I get
right.
it, man. You're in
Yeah,
the
It's a
inner
split
city of
second
Chicago.
decision. This goes back to when we were talking about the right case the other day. It's to me, it's a point of what are you doing or why are you doing it? So it's a choice. Now, to me, when you decided to chase that young man in for that alley, I don't think you had but one option. I don't know what your other option was. Well, you were either gonna take him down, injure
that's
him,
true.
because you're in a dark alley with a gun supposedly or allegedly around. What was going to be the outcome? It
Right.
goes back to the right situation. One, why were you trying to handcuff him near his driver's side, right in his driver's side door when he was right near the seat? And two, why didn't you just let him go home and arrest him later? Same with this young boy running through the alley. You could have just put a bolo out for him, and we could have got to him later. I think he put himself at risk, and I think he was brave for attempting it, but he put himself at risk and put himself in a bad situation.
Yeah, but that's exactly it. I mean, the approach. Okay, shots were fired. 8 shots were fired. Was anyone hurt with those eight
Not,
shots?
not that I
It
know
could have
of.
been. It could have been kids playing with a gun, shooting it in the air, right?
But no,
That's not a
that's why
jailable. That's not a
that's why I
jailable
disagree.
offense.
That's why I disagree. Bullets ain't got no name.
Agree.
You shooting in the air, in the grass, whatever. Anybody could get hit.
Right?
Your job is to make sure that firearm is not being popped off anymore. He did the right thing chasing. I mean, who
Mm,
you don't know what his plans is with that gun. You
yeah.
don't know. So
I
if
mean,
he
hindsight is
says
2020. So you're right. Okay.
so if he says I'll chase later, and then this dude goes on a corner and shoots up a block, then we're calling this cop an idiot.
No, I agree. I agree. I agree.
Yeah, it's not easy.
Yeah, like I said, I think he was brave for going down that alley and trying to do his job. And and he put out a statement of remorse because I'm sure, like, wow, I didn't want to have to do this, but it happened.
This is a tough. This is the toughest
It's a
one of
tough
all the
case.
And
cases.
This
and I
one
think
isn't
I
cut and
think
dry. This isn't cut and
and
dry.
I think people got it mixed up. Cops' first job, they want to get home too.
Oh yeah, it's preservation.
Their first thing when they're coming out that door, I'm getting home to my family too.
Agree.
So
Yeah.
if you give them a choice, it's gonna be you.
Yeah. It's just sad, man. This one isn't as cut and dry as all the past cases over the past year. It's just not. I think more evidence is gonna have to come out. Maybe the full tape is gonna have to come out. I mean,
Yeah.
there's more that's gonna have to be seen on this. It's not in cut and dry. It's just
Yeah,
not.
the
It's a
whole
tough
story has to
situation.
be told. From that video, I said, that's a
The com-
tough one.
the common factor in all these stories is still gun.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still gun proliferation of guns in the United States.
Yeah.
We own 40% more weapons than any other country in the world. We have more individual weapons than there are people.
Yeah.
So
There's
is that the
enough
name?
there's enough guns in this country for every person to have maybe probably two guns.
So is that the lawmakers' fault or the manufacturer's fault?
A
It's
little
the
bit of both.
lawmakers.
It's a little bit of both. It's a tough question, man, and someone has to figure it out. It has to be figured out.
There's a way. If they wanted to, there's a way to regulate guns. There's a way to do it. It's just nobody wants
To
to
take it
do
on.
it. You start at the manufacturer. That's where you start. And I mean, feel like
Interesting.
we talked about guns like Tyrone. We watched that documentary guns just showing up in Detroit, right?
Mhm.
Just just a trunk full of guns in an alley with a bunch of people. I mean, this guy, he was telling stories about how when he was young, he had all these automatic guns, he had all these weapons, and they were just in the neighborhood. How did these kids get these guns? How did these people on the street get these expensive, illegal, fully automatic weapons? You know?
The
So
manufacturers.
yeah, they're coming from somewhere. And it's not like they're shipping them in from another place. They're made here in America. You know?
Well, our President Joe Biden brought up a great and interesting fact about guns in America. And I don't know a lot of people know this. Gun manufacturers are pretty much the last industry in America that cannot be sued.
The last that cannot be sued.
Yeah, tobacco was one of them.
That's what I'm saying. Why is
You
that a
can't
thing?
sue a gun manufacturer. That law needs to go away.
It wasn't until a few weeks ago until he changed some rule where uh the the health the what's the health society could actually run reports on gun violence.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, up until then, a few weeks ago, the NRA had it locked down, so we couldn't even do studies on the effects of guns on health in America.
Well,
I just
it was allowing Health and Human Services to actually report out on this. Of
Right.
course, during the Trump administration, they of course got rid of that ability to be able to report on the health and welfare of America due to gun violence.
I just Googled how much does gun manufacturers make.
Oh, why?
It's a $17 billion business.
It's big business.
So they're not going after the gun manufacturers. We could cancel that. We can
I
cancel
don't
that.
even think it's
Man,
about going after them directly. I think they should be able to be held liable for maybe selling, the wrong weapon to the wrong people. The thing is, it comes into resellers, and then you got personal sales, and then you got gun shows, which is a whole nother can of worms. Um, I think it comes down to type of weapons at this point. I mean, I think that's what it comes down to. What weapon should any American be able to own? And don't say anyone I want to. You shouldn't own any gun that you want to. If
I'll
the
say
military
this.
can own it, then I probably shouldn't own it.
I'll say this. If the manufacturers can make it, I should be able to own it.
no.
I don't think that's true,
And
man. That's not
because
cool.
I'm gonna tell you why. Because the black market is not going anywhere. You're never going to stop people from buying illegal weapons.
That's the
Like,
thing,
stop
though.
it.
That's why
Stop
they
it.
have.
If you
That's why they have to be regulated. You could
if you're
stop
a
these companies
manufacturer,
from making these guns.
no, you can't. If your manufacturer makes it, it will get sold illegally somewhere.
Then
It,
that
it-
comes down to the
you
government
have to
saying you
stop
can't
the
make this gun.
Yeah.
period. If
Okay.
you say they can't make it, okay. But as long as they're able to make it, oh, you short.
Okay.
Somebody's gonna be able to always get an automatic weapon.
All right, I think it's similar to some state laws that are in effect. Now, like for the state of Maryland, of course, they came up with the law about 8 years back where high capacity was gone. If you already owned them, great, they're grandfathered in. But at this point, you cannot buy, a high capacity weapon. That's 15 rounds or more. In some cases, it can't be 10 rounds or more.
Can
And
you
I
buy
think
one out of state and bring it to Maryland?
no,
No. Okay.
illegal. So to me, that's a good start. That's a good starting point.
So the weapon,
Yeah,
go ahead.
yeah. I'm just saying. So I mean, I think you have to. The federal government has to find a way to find a medium here. Manufacturers are going to make guns. People are going to want to buy these guns, but you have to make it so you can't put 100 rounds in them. No one needs that. What's wrong with having 5, 6 rounds and changing out? I don't get it. If it's just for fun, if you're just at the gun range, you got time to do it. It's not like you need 15, 20 round capacity weapons in this country. You just don't.
As long as the manufacturers make it, we're gonna have a problem. 'Cause people gonna get it.
But I think
You
that's the
could
problem.
say you could say right now, all these guns are banned. We're only gonna make them for the military. I will bet you anything that it will show up on somebody's street, inner city
Put it
street.
in the market.
Somebody,
Whether that's
play,
well,
somebody
then
play
that's
some
access.
music. Y'all depressing me right now. This is making
Yeah, I
me
know,
sick.
man. I know. Hey, with that, let's switch it up.
Smile, pick it up a little bit, Jim.
I'm tired, man.
like you told me the other day.
This is y'all show, so I'm just here for the ride today.
Whatever, nigga.
I ain't even gonna lie.
It's really Tyrone show. We're all here because of you. I would be asleep on my couch.
I know,
at this
man.
point.
I'd be fucking napped out right. Actually, I'd be at fucking Home Depot right now buying some faucets or something.
Dude, I just came from Lowe's buying some trash, buying some soil. I'm being
Look, I
yard.
gotta buy a damn drop-in vanity sink because the damn drain won't come out the old one. I'm so pissed about it. This raggedy house.
Drain.
Y'all sound like some old men right now.
'Cause
Wait,